Good evening, everyone. We made it another weekend down, and we have got a full house in here already. My goodness. Let's see here. Anthony, thank you for dropping a hello. Anime, thank you for joining us. Celeste, good to see you. Doing good here. Jade, glad you could make it. Celeste, can you talk more about Nokian magic? Is it connected to the Pentacle of Solomon or the Tree of Life? Actually, Solomonic magic and Enochian magic are separated. And actually, the Tree of Life and the Tree of Death are viewed in Kabbalah, which is still separated from Enochian. Though they do have some overlap, so people do tend to work with them together from time to time. Enochian's a system I'm not hyper familiar with, Celeste, but it is one that I'm getting some materials on to look deeper into in the near future. But I hope that helps you out a little bit to get you going. Valin, welcome. And Celeste, get your drinks and snacks ready. Yes, you know how to get things started before I get here. Let's see here. Eres, welcome. Purified, good to see you. KRY, good to see you again. Katie, hello. And Valin asked, do I often do binding magic, or do I have any magicians, witches, pagans, etc. recommend to learn more of not magic and binding? Actually, not magic is actually one of the videos I'm actually wanting to do. It is a fun type of magic. It's actually relatively easy and actually quite versatile. So I am going to hopefully get some videos out about that. As far as binding, I do binding magic on occasion. I have no problems with that by no means. In fact, actually, one of my favorite binding spells, which I can share here, actually utilizes not magic. So I'll take a black candle and I'll write them. Let's say it's an individual I'm trying to bind and keep them from messing with me. I'll put their name on the candle. I'll imbue it with the intent to bind this person from causing harm to others or to bother me. So then once I've got that done, I will actually get a hold of a cord. Usually black cord is my favorite to use, which is pretty easy for me to do. I keep black 550 cord in my bag all the time just because it's freaking versatile. So I will take that and I will bind them, basically write up an incantation stating that I bind them while I focus on them being bound and causing no harm. And that's pushing energy into the cord. And every time I recite that binding, I will tie a knot in the cord, therefore locking that energy and that intent into the cord. And I will work my way down the cord. And I usually try to get about 9 knots. I like to do 9. Which I do work a lot with the Norse, and a lot of people view 9 as the perfect number for different reasons. It differs from traditions, but once I get all 9 knots done, then I will coil that rope around the candle, light the candle, and just let the whole thing burn down. And then I will dispose of the cord, leaving the knots done and person bound out of my hair. Easy peasy. Adam, hello. All right, Valen, I'll try and get that video out to y'all soon, actually. I'll make sure it's in the soon to film list. Drago, welcome. A12, good to see you as well. And Dilvote, welcome. Good to see you back. So, I've had a good weekend. It's been a busy weekend, exhausting, but very, very, very fun. It's been a fun weekend where it's one of those where I kind of will be going back to work to rest from my weekend, if that makes sense. But it's been good. It has been a good one, and I hope you guys have had a good one as well. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. Get those likes up there, people. It really helps the channel out. It tells YouTube y'all like what we're doing, and they will actually show more people if we hit the like button. It does help the algorithm. So make sure you're smashing that like button and get those likes up there. Algorithm likes to be fed likes. Celeste, can I tell you the basic? Well, the general history of Nokian magic is based on Dr. John Dee, which was, I want to say it was the Queen Elizabeth's personal magician, and a guy named Edward Kelly. The two of them got together and through evocation and scrying, supposedly was communicating with different spirits and entities, largely believed to be angelic, in which these entities communicated to them a system of magic and a series of tablets. Um, that was the entire cornerstone and basis of Enochian magic. I believe it was John Dee, Dr. John Dee, if I'm remembering correctly. So if you look those two up in their shenanigans, you could probably find out. Um, a lot of people believe Edward Kelly was a shyster and a con artist. Some people, but I know a lot of people who have gotten a lot of success with Enochian magic. It is generally viewed as a complex one. It has its own Enochian alphabet or to it with pronunciations and all kinds of stuff. But it's just one that I've not particularly had the time to dive into with all the other stuff that I have been researching. And let's be honest, most of my magical career has been to build myself up and get things stabilized. So diving deeply into something like a Nokian wasn't something that was really on the table for me. But now I'm at a position in my life where I think a Nokian might be something I'd like to look into to learn more about, especially since I've got a lot of people that do ask me about a Nokian, and I'd like to have a larger and more solid understanding of it so I could point people to it if that is their particular cup of tea when it comes to magic. Not all of us are going to have the same particular preferences to magic, and I believe as someone who discusses magic and well, I guess I'm a content creator officially now, and talks about it and tries to help people find their path. I think it's important that I try to understand as many different pathways as possible in order to help the people find the one that is best for them. So yeah, I'll be doing a bit more. I got a few books already that I've got a hold of. I just got to get the time to sit down and read through them and work through a few of them, Celeste. But that is it in a summary, nutshell. Bernaldus, good to see you. Silver Scale, good to see you. Let's see, Silver Scale, can you talk about the steps of doing an invocation? Well, yeah, I think I discussed this somewhat in the evoking an entity because it's not all that different. With evoking or invoking an entity, you need to achieve contact with them via some method, whether it be name, incantations. A lot of people like to use if it's available. And once you get contact with the entity, you're actually going to call the entity and focus the entity into you. Because invocation, again, is talking about conjuring an entity into you to create an internal communication, whereas evocation would be external. So instead of drawing the entity's energy and essence to an external spot in the room with you or contacting it through a mirror or something for astral evocation, you're actually making a direct inward connection with it and drawing it to you. It's the same process, it's just the destination actually shifts slightly. Scrimps Ahoy, good to see you. Good to see you. Violet, hey, welcome back. Good to see you as well. Hellspawn, good to see you. It's been doing good here. Doing good here. Actually, Violet, seeing your name on here reminds me, everybody, great news. So, officially on September 1st, which is going to be this Wednesday, um, Dad and Daughter D&D will be launching. We will be uploading videos on Wednesdays. So me and Halloween are going to start releasing videos on the new channel, which is going to be, again, dedicated to all things geeky, but primarily D&D, where we're going to be sharing a lot of our stories, experiences, and stuff like that. I know many of you have been really looking forward to this, doing this. Many of you have even tried to talk us into it. Looks like you win. That said, the actual channel intro video, after stream, I will be clicking that video to go live. And I will be posting a link below this video for you to go over there and watch that video and subscribe to the channel if you so are interested in that content. And also, if you don't want to wait for the link, because sometimes YouTube can be weird about how long it takes to put links up for me on the streams. But you can just search Dad and Daughter D&D. You should be able to find us. But I will be posting a link in the description and in the comments below this video after. And so the intro video will be there. Her and I both shot the intro video together. So for those of you who love seeing me and her together, there you go. And her and I have been discussing a lot of things and how we want to take that channel and the content we want to start dropping. And you all will be starting to see content this Wednesday and hopefully pretty regularly. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'd love to have your support if that's content you guys enjoy. So, and I do know so many of you always have those D&D questions, and you all know I don't really want to talk about that stuff here because I don't want to get fictional magic mixed in with real magic. So this is a great way that we can share that love of that hobby. And I will be talking about so many of the things that I do think is beneficial about that hobby. And there are things about that hobby that can genuinely help you in your actual magical practice. But this is going to allow us to separate that and actually dive in and truly enjoy that hobby and that love and passion for that creativity and that medium. So. Let's see here. Oh yeah, dragons definitely love a Nokian. Let's see. Texas outlaw poet, solve an argument for me. Um, I don't know about that. We'll see what I can do here, Texas. The fox represents the fire element, and the air owl represents the air element. Correct. Yes and no. Actually, there are many traditions where the fox would actually represent a fire element, and this is one of the reasons actually Loki is often seen as a fox. And yes, you are correct. The owl often represents the air element. There are times, however, where I have seen the fox also represent air because of its intelligence and craftiness. So it's not one of those things where it's an always true correspondence. And therein lies the big issue with correspondences. A lot of magicians get so caught up in and hung up on correspondences that they forget and realize that there's different correspondence tables based on different traditions, different viewpoints, different philosophies. So a correspondence is not a universally recognized, locked into stone viewpoint. It's actually just a singular viewpoint of a individual or a group. You could actually completely write out your entire own correspondence table of what means what to you. And that's actually going to work better than any correspondence table you find on the internet or within another tradition of magic, because correspondences are symbolisms that make sense to our subconscious that allows us to harness, gather that energy, and direct it. So if it makes sense to you and is true to you, that is the best correspondence for you, Texas. And that will get you the best results. So it is technically true, at least in some circles. And if that's actually the correspondence that sits right with you, I'd roll with it. In fact, I'll be honest, me myself, yeah, I usually see the fox as fire, but then I work with Loki a lot, so. At, have you ever practiced with spirit guides and spirit animals? Oh yeah, I work with guides and animals all the time. I actually have several spirit animals that I enjoy working with. Two ravens and two wolves usually hang around. Yeah, I have actually seen a lot of people, Celeste, say the owl has represented water because of its wisdom. You are correct on that. Hellspawn, do I have further insights into use of the triangle? Which triangle are we talking about? Are we talking like the dragon's eye triangle back here? Or are you talking about like a triangle of summoning that's meant to bind and contain? Because if you try to use a triangle of the arts that's designed to bind and contain, you're going to make an enemy of a dragon real fast. Because first off, it won't work, and you're literally trying to bind and contain a dragon, and you'll have made a big enemy on that one. Silver Scales, I don't feel ready for a co-magician yet, but I have met my guardian dragons. Would me not getting a co-magician yet affect my practice negatively? Negatively, no. It could slow you down, but it won't affect you negatively. You're not going to be able to fully reach out, connect, and work with any of the rulers until you get that co-magician. But that's not going to stop you from any general practice. You and your guardian can definitely take time to get to know each other. I've had plenty of students who take 2, 3 months. I even have one student took an entire year just working with their guardian because that's where they wanted to work, and they were trying to build that relationship good and strong with their guardian before they moved on. Um, I think honestly, if anything, far too many people get in a rush to jump over to the rulers. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The rulers are not necessarily the easiest to work with, and you shouldn't be in a hurry, because outside the first four rulers, those what's referred to as the higher rulers, they will wreck your life if you're not ready to work with them. And time again, I've seen it. People try to jump over, and they don't keep things in balance, and they think that they're the exception to the rule, and their life goes to hell. um, and then they want to whine about it. And then I quickly point them to the video. It's like, nope, we told you. Um, so no, take your time. By all means, take your time. Specifically, the water triangle. What? I'm not following your question, Houseman. The triangle in and of itself represents a balance, a connection, and a unity of points coming together for a singular strength and focus. Baba D, welcome. Is that Turbine? Hello. I think this might be your first time here, Turbine. I think we actually have a few people whose first time here. Actually, we got 26 people and 18 likes. Come on, hit that thumbs up, people. Give us some likes. Let that algorithm know that it should show more people the content. Celeste, if I created a contract with my blood on it, the entity can still choose to accept. Yeah, the entity has free will. It can choose to ignore you or to accept it. And honestly, putting your blood on the contract is not enough. If you do not have mastery over evocation, don't bother wasting your time with a contract. Let's say I was connected with him to have his help understanding vibrations. I ended up in a trance. Like I wrote energy. Why you chose to write that, I don't know. That was you chose to wrote that, Celeste. I don't know what you're wanting me to explain on that one. Um, One concept of this, I mean, it could be wording, but you could actually have an entity charge and empower a beverage in which you can drink. That might be possibly what it means, if I'm understanding what your question in the ballpark. Uh, Dragons can create pocket dimensions the same way as we do. That's exactly what an astral sanctum is, Silver Scales. So yeah, that's actually very possible. Let's see. So I'm not sure if you saw my question last night, but I was wondering if it was possible to work with gargoyles. I've been researching how to work with them with little to no luck. No, that's reasonable, and I actually did see it after I logged out. It still shows me a few comments after I log out. Not many, but that one was one of the ones that popped up there. Gargoyles are possible to work with, but what you have to understand is what we think of gargoyles and what gargoyles are is a little different. First off, the traditional stone gargoyle protector. This is what most people think of when we talk about gargoyles. Yes, they are protection, kind of idols of protection that are erected upon buildings. They are not actual entities, however, they are idols that are crafted. The thing is, however, you can imbue them with protective energy and protective egregores. Often is a big one, but you can also there are entities out there that will happily live and house themselves in a gargoyle. Um, but the gargoyles always need to be there willingly. The reason you hear some people talk about gargoyles as protectors, and then you hear some people talk about gargoyles as kind of these dark entities that wreak havoc on the places where they're at. Well, that depends on how they're put there. If they're there willingly protecting it and helping, they're going to be very, very helpful. However, if you tried to cram them in there against their will, you just created a problem. But gargoyles, in and of themselves, are not a specific entity or species. It's more describing the idols that are used to house these entities of protection and defense. Young gambler, hello! I finally made it. Hey, good to see you. Glad you can make it. Can a person enter the void? Yes, it's not easy, and it can. And yes, you can get lost there. There have been plenty of people who have got lost within the void. There are plenty of tales of caution about it. I've heard of tales where magicians got so lost in the void they basically was in a coma for the rest of their lives. That was it. They were lost. Never personally seen that one. That could just be a scare tactic. But the reason I give it credence, the reason I give it credit, because y'all know I have to have a reason to give it some credit. My first reason is the void is crazy. It is rough to work with. It is very hard. It's very taxing. I'd say 4 seconds in the void is probably worse than a whole year of shadow work. Um, and anyone who's actually truly stepped into the void, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you ever find somebody who's like, "Oh, it ain't that bad," odds are they've not stepped in. However, the reason I do give it credence, other than just how hard it is, I have seen the void actually drive people to a level of very bad health, and even insanity, where they have had to take some time. They did get committed. They had to get some serious psychiatric help and work before they were okay. So I have seen it do some crazy stuff that leads me to believe that the stories I've heard about, vegetative states are very probable. Notice I'm saying probable, not proved, probable. But we do have a line of data that shows us we'll give it probability. Have you ever worked with Lilith? Oh, yeah, I love working with Lilith. Luna, hey, good to see you. That depends, Katie, on what you mean. Can you create your own dragon sigil? Because if you mean sigil for a dragon, I would always recommend you work with the dragon that you're creating the sigil for. Always. It just seems to work better that way. You could technically do it, create a sigil to work with this dragon that you know and offer it to them as a gift, so that they know that you did it with love and respect. That's one way you could go around it. But you're going to need to know the dragon you're creating it for. Otherwise, it's going to be useless. Because if you just start drawing lines, you're not just randomly going to get a dragon. You actually have to have the dragon. Because the sigils don't have any control over the dragons. Hellspawn, you're trying to essentially invoke the dragon and dragoness. Yes, actually, I know actually how to do that. That is something that I'm not actually allowed to share until 104. And there's very big reasons for it. In fact, the working with them does not work in standard invocation or evocation methods. So none of those methods will work for you. And I unfortunately am not allowed at this point to share it. Is there a guide you can call on to traverse the void? Nope. Nope. The void is absolutely not safe, nor is it ever meant to be safe. If you feel you require something to keep you safe, you're not ready. Period. End of story. General rule of the multiverse is if you feel you need protection or guardianship of some kind, don't do it. Let's see. Jane German, do I work with crystals too? I used to do a bit of work with crystals. These days, I largely just use crystals as energy focals, to focus energy or to store energy. I don't actually do much work with them, because by and large, I found crystals to be perhaps the most inefficient form of magic I'd encountered. You're spending God knows how much money on a rock that, yes, crystals do generate a small energetic field. The energetic field of a crystal is so minute that I could raise more energy in my sleep while I had the flu. Um, so I understand them that they can help. They can help you harness. They can help direct. But for the amount of money you have to invest in crystals, if you enjoy crystals, you enjoy collecting them. By all means, use them in your practice, because you're already going to have it in your house. It's just for me personally, I don't like to have a lot of things cluttering my house, and I don't particularly enjoy collecting crystals and having to worry about cleaning them and all that. So for the cost input for the magical output, I just found them to be inefficient and impractical for my particular practice, which is interesting because I know a lot of crystal workers, and they're dear friends of mine, and they always get a laugh when I tell them my reasonings, and they actually agree because at least one of them, and ironically, her name's Jane. Her husband done some tattoos for me. Or no, him and I was talking about some tattoos. I don't think we ever got around to getting it done. No, we didn't because he was supposed to help me with the sleeve, but he's not the one that done it. he actually got a good laugh at this conversation once because of that. And he's like, oh, yeah, because his wife, she can drop a lot of money on crystals really quick. But she has also found a way to flip that and kind of turn it into something because she started trading and she'd be going to all these gem and crystal shows. So she'd be purchasing in bulk. She'd be selling them online, keeping the pieces that she wants for her collection. So she actually found a way to offset the cost drastically, which is great for somebody who enjoys crystals that much. Like I said, for me, it's just not my particular cup of tea. I do still research crystals. I'm not a guy that you really probably want to talk to the most about crystals because 99% of the time I'm going to have to look it up. My go-to crystal is amethyst, river quartz, and smoky quartz. Um, and outside that, I love to use obsidian and onyx um, for just general grounding and protection for rituals and stuff like that. I do have a hematite necklace that my wife got me. I still keep it around because it's a gift. So. Uh, well, the thing with the Void Celeste is it is everything and nothing. Everyone's going to have a very, very unique experience, other than the fact that it is going to literally try to rip you apart at the spiritual level. You're not supposed to technically exist in the void, which is kind of the whole point there. So it's one of those things you can't prepare anyone for the void because the void attacks them on a personal level, and we're all different, we're all individuals. So, other than to tell you that it is 3 seconds in the void would be like a year of intense shadow work, there's not really any way to prepare you for that transition. Now, if you do go through the Dragon Magic courses that we're doing, we will be working up to that where you do actually enter into the void and work directly in the void. But again, that's information that at this point in time, I've been requested respectfully not to share. And considering that the dragons are doing so much for me to help me share information and help reach so many people, I do believe that there is a reason and a actual rationale for their logic. So I am going to respect their request. Yeah, see, that's kind of me, husband. I hate cleaning around things. I'll be honest, when my wife deploys, she's flat out told me if you toss it, I won't miss it. So, yeah, when she leaves me home on a long stint by myself, I'm just taking stuff out. I'm just throwing it. I don't even, it's just, nope, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. Let's see here. What do we got here? Okay. Is that Mr. Meme? I've watched you once before while trying to find myself. Obviously, no dragons running around me. You'd be able to tell I have a question. I committed myself for 2 days straight. Oh, I hope you got the help you needed, Mr. Meme. See, Dizzy Drake just finished my money candle and literally fulfilled what I wrote on my petition to the T. Mugs up, Dizzy. Mugs up to you, my man. Awesome. I love to hear when it works out that way. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow, but that is awesome to hear, Dizzy. Thank you for sharing, mate. I know you've had a lot going on. Let's see here. Uh, Jane, I actually have to wonder: are you the Jane that I used to talk crystals with? Because that, like I said, that was her name. That was her name. I can. The last name don't match though. Mr. Meme, you have to be able to utilize your arcane senses to be able to see and hear them. If you've not trained your arcane senses, they can walk right up to you and be speaking to you and you not know it. So check out the video on arcane senses if you're interested in that. But at the same time, make sure you are in a mental and emotionally stable state to do magic. Because as above, you mentioned that you did have to um, get some help there for a couple days. So make sure you are in a stable and okay fashion. I am not a doctor. I am not a psychologist, any of that stuff. I cannot give any of that advice. So yeah, in that case, best I can do is say in order to contact these entities, you are going to have to work on your arcane senses. But you also absolutely have to make sure you are in a stable mental, emotional, and physical state. Let's see. Let's see. Some people say you need to know / befriend a fae to enter the fae realm, and some say you can just enter the realm. I'm confused. Can you please explain? Yeah, the Fey realm is a closed realm. You can't just jaunt over into it the way you can so many other realms just by willing yourself into it, as it were. However, there are doorways and gateways that, if you know how to access them, if you know how to access them, you could just stroll right on into the Fey realm. Not really the smartest thing to do, because if you just stroll into the Fey realm and you don't have friends or allies, then you could really be setting yourself up for some trouble. Because, contrary to Disney, the Fey aren't exactly the most friendly of people. They really are not. In fact, the border of the Fey, the guards that guard the border of the Fey, they're known as Red Caps. Look them up. Their entire thing is, if you cross the border without permission, we kill you. That's it. That is their only orders. You cross the border without permission, we kill you. It's that simple. And it is said a red cap will hunt you for your entire life. And they actually get their name because their hats are soaked in the blood of the people they kill. So yeah, the it is generally a good idea to have an escort or an invitation. But like I said, if you know how to open one of those gateways or those doorways, you could just saunter on in. Still not probably the most advisable unless you already have an ally on that side in which you can be like, hey, I'm going to visit so and so. Conscious Lolo, first time I've watched a live of yours. Hey, welcome. Glad you can make it to a live. Oh, we jumped. Crap. Let's see, Celeste. Are any dragons good for lawsuits assistance? Straight off the bat, I want to say there is one in Dragon Magic 102, but the easiest one that I know for a fact I have a video on would be Zephyrsil. Zephyrsil is great in legal matters. I really love to work with Zephyrsil in legal matters. So there is a video on him, Celeste, and you could reach out and speak with him. You're from France, so nope, sorry. Ah, crap. It'd be nice to be hearing from her, but hey, I just met a new Jane, so mugs up to you, Jane. Hope you're enjoying France. It's always I get a lot of people who'll pop in and be like, "Hey, let's go bug Drake," and then they don't think I'm going to notice. So now I guess they got me paranoid that they're going to do it. But it's always good, always good. Yeah, the dragons are messing with my light, and it does that. I apologize. I have tried to find a way to get them not to do it, and the little mischievous little boogers, if they're not messing with that, they're messing with something. So just bear with us and know that they're with us to support the work we're doing. Yay! Hope you guys are happy. You got your attention. Um, I'm not entering that room till I got a buddy. Believe me, I mean, even when I had an escort, the first time I heard I was going to the Fey Realms, I was not okay. I was. They took me kicking and screaming, as it were, and it was one of the draconic rulers that took me the first time because I knew the potential possibilities of what could go wrong, and it's just like I'm stupid. I know I'm stupid. I'm probably going to do something stupid. Let's not put me in a situation to do something stupid. They disagreed. They disagreed. So no, the Fey realm is not on the physical plane. I that's the Fey themselves are some of the few entities that can enter into the physical plane because it sits right up against the physical plane. The Fae themselves are some of the few entities that are both physical and non-physical, and that's strictly based upon what realm they're in. So if they cross over to the physical plane, they will take on a physical appearance, but they can also choose to remain non-physical should they choose to. The Fey realm itself, however, is not part of the physical realm. Thankfully. Oh dear God, things that are in that realm. I do not even want to imagine what this world would be like if we had to deal with those. Actually, you know what? That might actually be fun because I know people who's like, I can survive. And you stick them out in the woods for a week with the entire camping section of Walmart and they start crying about how hard it is. You can't survive, people. And then to see them try to deal with the wildlife from the Fey realms and the physical realm, I would sit and watch pay per view of that. I really would. I would pay to watch that. Um, Unfortunately, I won't be able to turn on pay per view and get to see that one, but I would really like it. Did you try to give him a cupcake though? No, I can't say I tried to give him a cupcake. I've offered coffee. I've offered steaks. I've offered all kinds of foods. I don't usually have cupcakes around to offer though. Oh, they love to make the camera flash. They do love to watch the camera shimmer and stuff. They do. So my understanding of Stonehenge from different entities across different sections of the multiverse is that Stonehenge is not a specific gateway or anything. However, it was built to focus energy, not for any one specific reason, but just to focus energy. Now, because it does focus that energy and it does collect it, there is a lot of energy that can be used. So, if you were to use it, or an entity wanted to use it to shift and step through, it'd be a very easy place. So, a perfect example is the Fae actually do use Stonehenge a lot to step back and forth, just because it's just such an easy place to step through. Other entities can do it just as easy, whether it be angels, infernals, dragons, jinn. Um, I mean, you name an entity. I don't know of an entity that can't step through that particular area very, very easily. It's also a really easy area just to move energy in and of itself through. So it's also a great place for just spell work because energy moves so easily through the area because of the way it's set up. Which, again, this is one of the reasons permanent circles and ritual areas and structures are set up. Stonehenge is not overly unique in that respect. It's unique in its construction, not in what it does, its function, which I actually found quite interesting because I figured its function would be a bit more unique. I was a little let down on that. I won't lie. Oh, Dragon, man, I've been to a lot of them. I'd have to bust out a few journals for that. I have been to the Dragon's Home Realm, which I'm quite honored to have been able to get there. And that is something else that I am happy to say they're going to let me share in 103 because it is absolutely beautiful. And in 102, Dragon Magic 102, even though you don't gain full access to the realm, you get a peek at it, which is really cool. I have visited all 9 realms of the Norse. I have walked the Elysian fields. I've walked in Hades and upon Olympus. Um, I've walked several realms throughout the infernal empires and the celestial realms as well. Um, yeah, that'd be the short list right off the top of my head. Let's see, AT. I just want to say how much I love your content. Just barely found you a couple of days ago. Mugs up to you, brother. Hey, thank you, AT. I appreciate it. Mugs up to you too. Need to refill the mug. Appreciate it. I've noticed there's a lot of new people finding the channel. We did hit a bit of a slowdown due to summer, and I don't blame y'all. We all been locked up like crazed orangutans for so long. It's like, hey, summer's here. Get out there and have some fun. I don't blame you. I myself, it's like time to get out and do some shenanigans. Of course, we are winding down at the end of summer, and it's about this time people do start searching a bit more. And it's always great to see new people come in, new viewers, meet new people, get new questions, new perspectives. I love it. And we jumped again. Crap. Conscious Lilith. Do I like combat sports? When you say combat sports, do you mean contact sports or do you mean combat sports like boxing and MMA and stuff like that? Um, I did enjoy boxing back in the days. I don't know what it is. It has a different feel to it. It's not quite the same. MMA fighting, I don't really follow it the way a lot of my friends do, but a lot of my friends, they really do follow it. And if they visit or if I'm visiting them and they're watching it, I actually have to admit I do quite enjoy it. Um, Now, when we're talking martial arts, I do enjoy martial arts. I used to compete in a few tournaments myself before injuries and obviously getting out of shape happened, which actually Monday I'm about to jump back into getting back into fight condition. Um, I always enjoyed it, though I tended to enjoy it more in person. I love to be able to sit and talk with the individuals there, um, share experiences and wisdom and the likes. I just found that to be the best part of it. I'm not really somebody who likes watching it so much on TV. I mean, if I got someone here, and I can have a banter back and forth and we can talk, I tend to enjoy that. But just to sit and watch it, I don't. I either want to be there, I want it to be hands on. I can't just sit and watch it for no reason other than to watch it. I'm weird that way. Same thing with football. If I got someone to joke with, I can watch it. If I'm at a football game live, I can watch it. If I'm playing football, okay, but to just sit and watch it on TV, I can't do it. The only time you can get me to sit and just watch football is usually the Super Bowl, and that's only if I have money on the game. So I have a vested interest in it. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Chuck Norris. Oh, that's my favorite magician. Good morning. Hey, I'm going to guess you are not the real Chuck Norris, but all the same, the fact that I got somebody up here, Chuck Norris, saying I'm their favorite magician, you just made my freaking weekend. I love it. And if you are the real Chuck Norris, heck yeah. You don't remember? I ran into you like, was that 15 years ago? Yeah. But if that's you, yep. And you actually signed the thing for me. I appreciate it. See, oh, we got a super chat here. Devolt, can you get possessed by a spirit who is a master of martial arts and become a master of martial arts yourself? No. Here's the thing, Devolt. If you were to be possessed by a spirit of martial arts, first off, they'd have to be willing to do it, and you'd have to be willing to do it. And for you to actually become a master of martial arts, you actually have to learn and understand these things and condition your body. The spirit itself cannot just do it itself. So, yes, you could essentially be possessed by the spirit, utilize its knowledge and its abilities, but your body isn't capable of it. It's going to be overly taxing on your body. So, for a perfect example, you already know, you heard me. I used to do some fighting and martial arts and stuff. I'm no longer in shape. My body cannot do what it once did. Believe me, I have found out the hard way. So let's say I was possessed by the spirit of Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee broke loose and done the Bruce Lee stuff that we all know Bruce Lee for. It would look weird, but my body would theoretically be able to do it. The problem is, the second the spirit left me, my body will feel like it has been put through a meat grinder because it could not do it. I would have muscles pulled because they did not have the elasticity. I would have joints that do not have the muscle strength to maintain the movements and the impact. It would literally tear my body up, and I would have to pay that price. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't theoretically work with one of these entities, do the work, and build yourself up over time. There's not an instant solution. Let's see. So I hope that answers your question a little bit, Devault, there. Yeah, see, sadly, no, because believe me, if that was the case, you could download information and mastery of skills so much quicker. And that kind of defeats the whole point of actually being here in the physical plane. We are supposed to learn. We are actually supposed to face the challenges of development and learning. Easy mode is, you are already on easy mode with all the challenges. It's like I've told my students, if you think the real world is too hard, don't be in a hurry to ascend. Don't be in a hurry to leave the real world, as you call it, or the physical realm. Because the physical realm is hands down as easy as it will ever get. Period. This is easy mode. We are toddlers in diapers. We can't even really walk. That is how easy, compared to the rest of the multiverse, our lives here are. This is literally where we're just learning. We are just babes in the great, great existence. See, oh, that's the Dragon's Eye seal. We actually have a whole video on that dragon. Check it out. It explains it. It really helps out to focus and gather energy in dragon magic and work with draconic energy currents. That is true. There's a lot that can get around house, but that's okay. It's all good fun. Oh yeah, martial arts and magic does have a lot of crossovers. I cannot deny that. To this day, I think one of the reasons I was able to transition into magic as easy as I was because of my background and the philosophical and ideals of martial arts and their focus on will and discipline. I really, really do. I've had many students ask me if I think martial arts would help them in their development. Um, and I personally think you should train the body and the mind regardless. I really do. So if you're interested in it, yeah, find you a martial art that you're interested in and that you would like to study and get in that. Celeste, energy is energy is energy. So if you were to harness just the energy at Stonehenge, it's just energy. The same as if you were to harness energy anywhere else on the planet. It's just going to feel you the same way that energy would. Um, the question isn't the location. The question is, what energy are you choosing to harness, and how are you utilizing it? Um, the location really won't make the difference. The only difference it'll make is how easy is it. Think of it this way: it's raining outside. Is it? Can you get wet? Yes. Can you get soaked into the bone? Yes. How long will it take? Well, there's a lot of factors when it's raining. There's a lot of things you got to figure out. How hard is it raining? Is the wind blowing? All these things. However, if I was to take and throw you in the lake, are you going to get wet? Yes. Is there a question on how quick? No. So still water, still getting wet. It's just a matter of how quick and easy is it happening. Let's say, and second, could you harness the energy of Stonehenge in order to help with Earth shift into a higher vibration and heal the Earth's atmosphere, etc.? First off, you're not going to be able to shift the Earth into a higher vibration. The physical realm is exactly where it's supposed to be, and its vibrations shift based on actually what's needed. So when we talk about shifting the Earth's vibration for the atmosphere, we're talking about human arrogance. We are talking about our comfort. We are talking about what we want for our own selfish needs. And the physical realm really don't give a rat's rump about our selfish needs, because you could eradicate all life on this planet. The Earth and the physical realm and its vibration will balance out and return to normal. We are not required. We are not needed. We are inconsequential. So anything you harnessed there wouldn't actually shift it. The physical realm is the physical realm. It will remain as such. And the physical realm's vibration is set into a dynamic balance that will be maintained. Conscious Lolo, please answer this question for me. It's really important to me right now. A few days ago, someone I know took their life. My apologies and condolences, Lolo. I know that's not an easy one. I've been where you're at right now. Is there a way to find that soul in the spirit world? Yes, but it's not easy. It's definitely not something that is easy to handle or easy to do. It also depends on whether or not that particular spirit or soul is ready to communicate. Many of them are not ready to communicate, especially in situations like this. They may feel they have personal things to work through before they deserve to communicate with us. And I really hate answering these questions because I know it's not easy to hear it, but I have always been a believer in understanding the truth often helps us work through our grief faster. Now, with that said, Lolo, what I would do, and this is what I do recommend, if you have a picture of them or something, set that up, set up like a little altar to them. Remember the good times that you had with them. Celebrate their life. Celebrate their life and the life that you got to share with them, the time you got to share with them. Don't mourn, celebrate. Remember them for the person you know they were, and remember them for the person you loved and cared for. This will help you, and it will also show them that celebration of who they were will reach that spirit, and it will help them in whatever troubles they're having and help them feel that they can reach out to us again, help them progress quicker as well. Um, that's the best advice I can give you. Yeah, it's like everybody talking about that crossover. It is a great crossover. Oh crap, we jumped again. Purified. What is the Elysian Fields? I've never heard of that realm. The Elysian Fields is kind of the Greek Olympian version of heaven. So they had different areas where people went. The Elysian Fields was kind of the paradise kind of setup, whereas Hades was the general afterlife sorting area, and then you had Tartarus, which was the more area of punishment, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the Elysian Fields was more of the paradise place. Yes, this is not a child's channel, so if you're here and you are watching at your own risk. All the videos are marked not for kids. Oh crap, we jumped. And we jumped, and Jade's time check, really? Oh crap, yeah. You guys got me answering all these good questions, and you got me on a roll tonight, and then done got me in trouble. Look at that. Okay, no worries. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I do have a meeting I got to get to. I hate acting like I'm an actual responsible adult, but that's okay. We will manage it. Again, I am going to go ahead and post a link to the new channel for those who are interested in it. Again, I would appreciate your support. Y'all are not required. Again, that one's just going to be fun. It's going to be more geeky stuff. It's not going to be based upon real occultism or stuff like that. It's an opportunity to do something with my daughter and to share our love of stuff like that. And honestly, I do think it has a lot of value to help people. But so many of you do support the work I do, and many of you have shown interest. So I did want to make sure you all knew that we was getting ready to launch that, and that the trailer video will be available tonight. As soon as I finish here, I'm going to activate the video, and I'll stick the link up so you can find it very, very easy, everyone. And make sure you subscribe and check the notifications so you can see all the shenanigans that me and Halloween get up to. You will get to see Halloween quite a bit. You see Halloween kick your butt in D&D. But yeah, join us over there. We will be talking and asking viewers for some of the stuff you all want to see over there as well as we get stuff going. So with that said, everyone, you have a wonderful week. Keep up your research, keep up your work, keep those journals going. Was that villain working dream? Thanks for the live stream tonight. No problem. Thank you all for joining me. I absolutely do love to get to spend this time with you all. I really do. This actually feels like fun, whereas the meeting I'm getting ready to go to, that feels like work, which is probably why I lose track of time so easily. But that's okay. We got people to keep me on track here, don't we? Y'all have a great week. And let's see. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for the stream. That's an ambulance. So that's probably related to the Halloween kicking my butt thing. Probably. She ran my butt over while she was down here. Definitely going to join and subscribe. Awesome. Thank you. I will get the link to y'all as soon as I get off here. And with that, I better get off here so I can get that to you, right? All right, everyone have a great week. Take care and good night. Bye-bye.